There it is. We're live.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, guys. Thank you guys who are watching on the replay. And I always like to say at the beginning of the live, hi, Mom, in case you're listening. Hookah Homestead came in early. I don't know if they're still here, but they did come in earlier and say hi. So I appreciate that. We wanted to talk about some gardening, but we'll wait till we get a few people in here and we'll just chitter chat for a little while.
Yeah.
So today was supposed to be the first day of my healthy eating plan. Brand new, starting again, starting on a Sunday, because you do the meals for the Sunday. Hello, Rudy. Welcome in.
Hello.
So I took chicken thighs and I pulled the skin off of it and I pulled the bone out of it and I cut it into little bite-sized pieces, and I did 1 day of chicken teriyaki, put a little chicken teriyaki in there to marinate it. 2 days are going to be barbecue, and 2 days are going to be like taco fajita type thing. So that's going to be my lunch prep for the week, and I'm going to eat those on low-carb tortillas with onions, baby spinach, bell pepper, stuff like that, maybe guacamole or something. So that's going to be my meal prep for the week. So this is my first time to do that. My sister's been doing it, but she does it with drumsticks, and I did mine with chicken thighs. But I've always really liked chicken thighs. Hello, Kathleen. Hi, Michael's Adventures. So I was talking about my new eating plan. It's going to be, I'm following Plant Paradox, Dr. Gundry, but I'm going to be a little more lenient on his vegetable fruit thing, because I think that those things are good for you, and he gets a little over the top on some of it. So I'm going to, because I'm a gardener, I want to be able to eat as many vegetables as I want. So I'm going to do the Dr. Gundry thing. I'm going to ignore a few of his little, vegetable rules or whatever. Hello, G Mama Grows. How are you? So that's what I started today. Was my first day of meal prep. So I have 5 days of chicken marinating for the week, and that's what I'm going to be eating on. And if I get tired of that during the week, I'll maybe in the middle of the week, like Wednesday, I might just make like a tuna wrap or something and have that. So I'm going to do.
I think that's for me with a lot of those different plants and stuff. They have all these different ingredients, and you're all over the place with all the different meals. Mm-hmm. And I just like it simple, grab and go. Because my problem is I forget to eat.
And then it's too late because it's too close to dinner is what happens to me.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try to do the shake in the morning, and I'm going to try to stop and have my one chicken wrap thing at lunch. When I get tired of that, I'll switch over to something else. I might make up a menu of like an omelet, a yogurt and carrot sticks. Or, I'll move it around a little bit. But I bet I can eat that for a while and not be bored. And I'll also decide which one I like better, because I'm marinating 3 different ways. And I might even convert the taco one a little bit different. But
and it's good to switch it up. It's good to switch it up so that you don't plateau.
I think I'm gonna, move it around, but I'm going to try this and see how it works out. I'm going to try this out. Like I said, I'll have my tuna as a backup plan. So that'll just be a little something different in case I I really don't want the chicken today, then I'll have it. But I haven't had anything like that. So I think it's going to be good. Yeah. And originally on the Plant Paradox, you're not supposed to eat bell peppers, but that's what I said. I'm just not even going to mess with that. I'm a gardener. I'm not going to be messing with you. Tell me I can't eat tomatoes and I can't eat. I understand not eating a ton of them, but because they're
moderation.
But moderation. Right. But I'm not going to eat any until, let's put it this way. I'm not going to eat any tomatoes until I get my own in the garden. That'll be my deal. I won't have it.
So it's so hard. I we have Safeway here in the Pacific Northwest, which is a grocery store, in case somebody didn't know. And my nose itches. Anyway, so I went there yesterday to grab like 3 things, and I just did grab 3 things because I don't do very much grocery shopping anymore. And I noticed the store next to it, which is called Rite Aid, and Rite Aid is a big chain store that has like cosmetics. They have a little bit of like food items. They
That's
have a
cool.
little kind of almost a little bit of everything. And then like they have like a pharmacy in there, and it was just completely shut down, like closed out
Hmm.
of business, done. And I'm like, whoa.
Weird.
Yeah. Hi everybody.
It took a little bit of time to do the meal prep because I pulled the skin off, pulled it out of the bone, and
Yeah.
chopped it in bite-sized pieces and put it into the marinade, into 3 different
Yeah.
marinades. Hello, Robin with Garden State So-and-so. Welcome in. Tiffany, Canadian Family Life. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry. I do appreciate all of you guys for being in here. So we're going to talk about gardening, but we were just warming up. We were talking about my new healthy eating plan. I'm trying so hard to do what I'm doing different this time. I'm doing the same diet, but I have my sister. We're pairing up together and we're taking pictures of things that we're buying that's helpful and good for us. And we're sharing ideas, and we're kind of like healthy eating buddies, basically. Kind
That
of
helps
like workout buddies.
accountability.
So we're thinking this will help. So this is what we've changed, is that we have an accountability partner this time.
Yeah.
So we're
That's
hoping
good.
both of us want to get better. I mean, I'm literally avoiding pictures. I mean, if you look at the videos of me when I very first started YouTube, and then now you can see it right in my face and other areas. So I want to lose it, but not just for looks wise. Like, I want to be healthier. I want to feel healthier. I want to have energy to get out and do my gardening and stuff like that. So hello,
Right.
Unique Amazing Stripes.
Scotty, I have one of those hydroponic, like a little gardening kit that I bought last spring for this winter to grow some stuff, and I haven't used it yet. I've got it ready to get out of the box and get started. That's something that I want to do too, so I can grow some. I don't know. I want to grow basil.
That's on my list. I do want to do that, but now that it's like, I would say it's well, I can start planning in March personally, and I'm kind of rogue. Like, whenever last frost date is, I plant like a couple of weeks before that.
Yeah,
Because I
something
figure it's in
like,
the ground and it'll come up. I have to get the most out of the season at the beginning, because toward the end it is too hot here. And when
in
everybody else is
Texas.
still gardening, I have to pull things up because the Texas heat is just eating stuff up around here. So I have to get the most out of it as quick as possible. So I try to get things in there, and it works for me. And I figure if I lose a few seeds trying to get things to grow earlier,
You tried. You never know.
I win so many seeds.
Yeah.
And send me seeds. They're so generous. But anyway, I did write down a few things I wanted to talk about. I always like to talk about composting and what kinds of things people use in their compost. So if you guys will start typing in the kinds of things you use in your compost, I kind of wrote down a few things, and then after I say it, then Heather can tell me if there's anything different or if I missed anything, because I might have missed something. I do get my husband to run through the leaves, and I put crushed leaves on top of everything. I do eggshells. I do know that it takes about 3 years or so for the eggshells to actually break down. But hey, why not do the investment 3 years in advance for your garden, is the way I look at it. I also have a paper shredder, and I shred mail and toilet paper rolls and wrapping paper rolls and stuff like that. And I do chicken manure. And I do use some grass clippings, but it does make me nervous because of the seeds. Because what if you catch it the wrong time of year when it has the seeds and it grows? That's always been my thing. But I do kind of do it a little bit more in the wild garden back there. But I don't actually do any weeding on that garden. A little bit occasionally, but I don't get OCD about it like I do the rest of it. But yes, if you type dolphin in the chat, it will put up your link. So you're welcome to put up your link, or if you're a moderator, you can put up anybody's link or your own if you want. What else do you add to that list that I might have missed there, Heather?
Okay, so I have a lot of compost. So I have yards and yards and yards, I'm not kidding you, of compost. And we don't do garbage service because we chose to when we've been in our house for almost 10 years, 11 years almost now. And so I started before we moved to the property of not doing garbage and just doing recycling and rinsing jars out and, you know, a little bit of the compost. But then when we got here, we started composting. We have cows. So we'll go when it's not raining so much early spring through like the end of summer, and we'll take the tractor and we'll scoop clumps of cow manure into the tractor and we'll dump it. But I kind of like to look at it as like lasagna. So you do some of the soil, some sort of poo, some hay, grass, and you don't want your grass to be in clumps, like because it'll start, like if you have it in a clump, when you compost your grass, you want to spread it out.
Hi, Kimberly.
And so you kind of layer all your different paper products, your food products, dirt, just keep layering, and you want to heap it in a big heap. And if you have a smaller compost, you want to turn it more often to cook it. And
I forgot on cow manure. Is it a compost you can put on and plant in it right away? It is, isn't it?
No, you have to compost it for about a year. So we usually go from spring to spring. We have like 2 separate composts, and at a certain time of the year, I say, okay, no more, manure in this pile. This pile's for the spring, and then we start a new pile.
Except for the stuff at the store, it has already sat for that year, right? The stuff you buy from
yeah, that's already composted, or what you get at like a what do you call that? Agricultural, where you get the big scoops, like you drive there and they scoop it into your truck or whatever.
I've heard of that. I'm in a small town, so we don't really have access to some of that stuff. Maybe you could set it up for like my mom's town, but I don't know. You might have to be in the town for that to happen. But
right. And so your grass seeds, if you're like, you probably have a smaller compost because you don't have cows and you're just doing, your household leftovers and paper towel rolls and stuff like that. You're going to want to turn it at least once a week. But the grass clipping seeds, if you're doing that, turning it, they're going to cook and they won't sprout as easy.
Yeah, I do have an actual bin. But I do a lot of the composting in place where I start actually composting when I start pulling my stuff up in like August and September, because I don't do fall gardening. I like to just take a break and do some other things. I'm a little bit ADD, like I have to have different, like I do cooking in the winter, and in the summer I do gardening. I have to do it that way because of my brain gets bored if I'm doing the same thing all the time. So year-long gardening would never work for me because I'm so incredibly adult ADD that once a year is actually enough for me. Even though I do have a little bit of lettuce growing in my grow light, under my grow light in the utility room, little winter gardening. Hello, sis, Free Handling Made AU. Welcome in.
Yeah, I was never diagnosed with ADD or ADHD.
Neither, but I can just tell.
I can tell you for sure that every day, all day long, I'm constantly doing a little this, a little that, a little this, but I have to.
It's me.
And I think that I developed when my kids were young, because I did a home child care preschool where I had like 12 to 16 extra kids. And so I was having to do lots of paperwork and the kids and the learning and all the things. I had to multitask. So you have to, I'm used to like trying to do it fast and move to the next thing. And so I think I just got used to doing that for so long. That's just kind of how I still am. So
Yeah. Yeah.
mhm.
That's me at home. 1 minute I'll be getting mail ready that needs to be mailed. The next minute I'll be doing dishes. I'll be feeding the chickens. And then I'll be doing laundry. And then I'll be editing my videos. And then I'll be doing something on the computer. And, I'm all over the place. I'm printing. I'm working on the homeless ministry. I mean, I have a lot to do, really. I do. I really, people think, that women at home, we sit around watching TV all the time, but I don't turn the TV on during the day. The TV
No.
goes on at dinner time. When hubby gets home, we watch something on TV while we're eating. And we do watch some TV at night. But sometimes that adult ADD thing kicks in, and I've been sitting too long. I tell him, I got to get up and walk around for a little while. So I'll get up and do something. And then I'll come back and we might watch something else. But I literally cannot sit too long.
It's hard for me to sit for more than 1 hour at a time.
Hello, GT Junior.
Hi, GT Junior.
Welcome in.
Yeah. I do want to do his, if he's still doing his Grow Indoors collaboration.
Yes.
Is that still going?
That goes all the way through about the first week of April, I believe.
My nose is
And I need to do a little update on mine. However, I do admit it's growing a little bit slower because I didn't realize I was going to be unplugging our Christmas lights with my grow lights. So hubby had to get a thing for that. So for next year and for other things later, we'll be set up better in there. But literally, I just unplugged it and I just let it sit there for about 2.5 weeks. Just not even watering it or anything, just letting it sit there. And then once the Christmas stuff was over, I plugged it in and started watering it, and it's growing. But I'm 2.5 weeks behind on it because I didn't want to mess up the work my husband had put into the Christmas lights.
Yeah. So a big thing that I think that people need to pay attention to when getting manure from a friend or a farm or another area is making sure that you know what the animals have been medicated with. Dewormers, vaccines, and stuff like it's your choice. But do you want that in your compost that is now then going to go into the food that you're eating? Plus, sometimes like the grazers, if there's a lot of weeds on said property where you're getting your manure, you're bringing that in the feces, in the poo manure back to your property. So you got to be careful. And then another thing to point out too is like if you go buy plants from or be given plants from a friend, a plant store, anywhere, what you should do is you should take that plant, put it in a bucket, and rinse the soil off the roots. Dispose of that soil and put in what you know is good, because sometimes people have parasites and bugs and things like that contained in their soil that comes from even from plant stores. I mean, don't be paranoid, but if you want to be extra cautious of,
usually half the stuff I worry about doesn't actually happen, but the only thing I actually usually buy starts of is peppers, admittedly, because I have such a hard time with peppers. If anybody has any pepper hints, please let me know. Peppers are not my thing. Now, if I buy a little start from the store, I can get that. I can keep that alive and have it go, and it does really well. But I don't know why I cannot get them up to. I can get them up a little, but I don't know what my soil's missing that I'm not able to do that. Hello, Ginger. Welcome in.
Yeah, and it's that one little trick like potatoes. I'm so frustrated with potatoes, and every time I ask people, why are my potatoes tiny? And they're like, well, you have to have loose soil and you have to fertilize and
They
you have
say
to
that
this and
about
that.
my
And I'm like,
carrots
but
too,
I'm
and I'm usually
doing
happy
all
with
of it. So
I
I don't
know
know.
Big TV.
I'm going to try a completely different area this year and see.
I would love to try potatoes. I haven't done potatoes yet.
And you
And
want
I
to
want
do, if you want to do sweet potatoes, now it's a good time to do your slips. So you can start sweet potatoes in some soil or in water. And then you break off the little slips that grow off to plant the sweet
Hello,
potato.
becoming a green stalker. Welcome in.
Hi, everybody.
Chrissy Baum, welcome in. Let's see. I'm trying to see if anybody else new is in here.
What kind of seeds, Christy?
Oh, 2 trays of seeds. Okay. I'll just have the lettuce in there, and that's just to go along with my healthy eating plan. I got to have availability to lettuce, and I thought I could have a little bit before it actually gets growing outside. But here, I'm gonna have to look it up, but I'm gonna say it's almost February when I could start putting out my lettuce in my planter, because
So, Gail, your problem with growing the bell peppers is starting the bell pepper seed by seed. Is that your problem?
I think it's something missing in the soil, if I had to guess. Becoming a green stalker, welcome in. I think it's something missing in the soil. That's
so a lot of people say that you
get
definitely
up, it just won't.
Yeah, people say that you want to have like your agricultural department or something like that nearest you to do sample testing of your soils to see what it lacks. But I have, you can get, at your local stores some little test kits that can help you. And you want to test different areas that you're planting in, and you want to test at different times. Because like as your plant grows, it's using the nutrients in the soil. So that's something you want to keep in mind. It doesn't have to be real hard, but there's a lot to learn, but don't be scared. Just get dirty.
Yeah, I have like a little, I have like one of those little soil tester meter things. I have one of those.
Yeah, I want to get one of those too, because we're going to be getting a high tunnel to add to our gardening as well this year.
I did watch In My Gardener last year. I believe it was In My Gardener, if I'm not mistaken, was adding alfalfa pellets to his things that he was adding into the soil as he was planting. So I'm going to try that this year and see if that.
Yeah, cocoa. What is it called? Cocoa. I forget what it's called. It's cocoa grain or cocoa. Somebody knows. What am I talking about?
I know. I don't know.
I don't know. It's kind of like, it looks kind of like straw, but it's cocoa, like grass stuff that you can plant in too.
I don't know what you're referring to this year. I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you, but I'm going to tell you mine, and then you can tell me yours.
Yeah.
What kind of new things are you planting this year? So some of mine are, I've ordered some carnations and some nasturtiums from In My Gardener, and some not calamine. What am I trying to say here?
Chamomile.
I'm going to try lavender again.
And I can give you hints on the lavender.
What now?
I can help you a little bit with your lavender if you want me to.
I do have that written down. I was going to ask about that. And I'm going to try spaghetti squash, because last year somebody sent me some seeds that said spaghetti squash, but they were not spaghetti squash. They were butternut squash. I could tell by the inside. My sister bought me some glass gem corn, so I'm going to try that.
Those are so pretty. That's what I did this last year.
So, and I did learn when you're planting corn that you need to plant it round.
Yeah, you can do that. Because
it protects each other, I think. So we'll see.
And you
My
wanna
problem here was we have really bad ants. So my year that I tried corn, they got attacked by ants. So I'm going to grow some glass gem corn, and also sent to me was 2 other varieties of corn. So I'm going to plant one batch just to try it out. I don't.
Oh, see, so JT says he uses it's cocoa core. So it's kind of like I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of like a grass, like a dry hay, but it's not hay. And it's cocoa fibers, kind of like. And so he uses the cocoa core and the perlite 90% for seed. Oh, that's cool. I might try and do that.
So I'm guessing these are new are new things you're planning, or just things you're planning this year, Christy.
What kind of,
I was going to ask you, what new things are you planting this year, Heather?
So what I'm going to do is over by my honeybees. I know you guys don't know what I'm talking about, but I have a lattice that runs along the back side of my honeybee apiary. And I have like a little path that runs on that other opposite side of it. And we've posted 4 posts. And so what I want to do is I want to put a roof on top of it. So you like walk under it with old-fashioned windows on the sides. On top of it, I'm going to grow succulents. So that's something I want to do. That's not really kind of like a new thing I'm planting. I mean, it is, but it isn't. I have lots of succulents. But I'm also going to make some bed for butterflies. So I have a bunch of different types of seeds that I want to grow in maybe a circular raised bed just for butterflies. The bees and everybody will like it too, but I want it to be pretty.
One, if I can get my voice, I was talking just fine before. I don't know where it went. I'm going to try to actually grow my pumpkins, if I can get my voice, in a mound this year, because I've seen them do that. I bought these with Garden State Gardener, M.I. Gardener.
Yeah. Are they the jumbo ones, the real big ones?
State Fair.
Okay.
I've grown successfully regular pumpkins, small pumpkins, white pumpkins, regular pumpkins. I've successfully grown pumpkins just fine.
Yeah.
But never big ones. So we'll see.
Right. So JT probably knows since he's where he's at, because I think pumpkins are real good in Alaska. But we did that before, and we got some pretty big pumpkins, and you'll want to kind of move them a little bit so they don't rot underneath. Not a lot, like you got to be careful, but they take a lot of water.
A lot of water.
A lot of water.
Yeah. I just, I don't know why. I just like growing pumpkins and gourds, not even always to eat.
I like the warty ones. Those are really cool looking. But I'm going to be working on doing more herbs for sure in my garden. I'm hoping to get a freeze dryer as well before I harvest this fall. So I want to do like a lot of meals in a bag, like soups and stuff like that, where I just have to add broth or water or whatever. So I'm going to try to focus on doing like carrots and peas, and I suck at celery, so I'm hoping that I can grow some celery this year. I like celery in soup.
Yeah, I've not been real successful. I can't. I have no voice. I don't know.
That's okay. Drink water. Take your time.
Yeah, maybe.
Has anybody grown celery? Is there any tips or tricks? I know for like the smaller, itty tiny seeds that you grow, when you start them, if you have really nice fine, loose soil and you sprinkle them on top and then sprinkle like just a tad bit of soil over them and just kind of lightly press them down. They want to be like more towards the surface. Those little itty bitty tiny seeds like lavender. And lavender needs to be cold stratus. What's that word? You know, where you stick it in the refrigerator. So
that's what I was trying to remember. I knew I did something wrong last year, but I was trying to remember what it was. It's funny because I'm quite ornery. I tried
yeah.
Dill.
I have lots of jars of it.
First year it barely came up. Last year it was as tall as me. Like I have a picture of me next to it. Right. So I don't know why I'm losing my voice. Go ahead.
Yeah. And so that's kind of some things that, you know, when something doesn't grow right, thinking about, well, should I have stuck it in the refrigerator for a little bit? The depth of your seed, depending on how big or small your seed is compared to your soil. And, you know, you can just, like, if you research whatever it is that you want to grow, how deep do I plant it? When do I plant it for my growing zone? Like, get as much information as you can, you know? Yes. Yeah. And so that's what you.
I'm so deep. I need to remember that. Yeah. Too.
Yeah. So looking at how many days it takes to germinate, and then also when you do start seeds or have plants inside, making sure that you don't just stick them outside and plant them in the ground as soon as the website or whatever it is that you Googled or whatever says my last frost date is. Don't put your plants out, because I know so many people are like, okay, this is the weekend I'm doing it, and they put the plants out and then they get like a freeze or something. So you got to watch your weather, even though it says this is the date you can plant, because then you need to take your plants outside a little at a time, inside, outside, for so many hours before you stick them in the ground, and watch the weather. I know I'm going all over my rambling.
Let's see if I can talk yet.
Oh yeah, you need some honey, Gail.
Yeah, I don't have any.
But yeah, so there's some different things that I want to try for sure this year. There's a lot of things that I have done. I do want to do like a lot more flowers, because I do have the honeybees and I also have some mason bees. And I've been doing like a row of bulbs. I've got like 70 lavender plants, you know, my fruit trees and different herbs and stuff like that I do grow. But I want to get more focused on like zinnias and stuff like that.
Yeah. This is one of my seed holders, and I kind of like it because it's less bulky, you know, than bunches and bunches of packets.
Yeah, well, I had mine organized, and then I like order more or get more seeds, and now it's a mess. It's just a mess. So I grabbed a bunch of random seeds that I know that I'm going to be planting this year, and I put them in a tin to do this live. So mine are all mixed up.
Yeah. Well, I'm doing a lot of seeds from Garden State Gardener this year. And then I ordered some from M.I. Gardener. So I ordered a couple of different carnations.
Right. I think important too, like,
I'm going to try these.
Carnations. Oh, those are nice.
And then there's also some purple ones. I've never tried carnations. I thought it would be fun. And then that's my spaghetti squash from M.I. Gardener. And then I got teddy bear sunflowers because I just love sunflowers.
Yeah, I planted
a whole sunflower garden this year. I'm going to have dwarf, and then some orange ones, and then some mammoth. So I'm going to put them all together this year.
Yeah, I plant a lot of sunflowers, and then I save the seeds to replant again for the next
And my tomatillos.
Yeah. Now make sure when you plant your tomatillo that you have at least 2 plants. Because if you have one plant, it doesn't mature fast enough or fully. So you'll want to have at least 2. For some reason.
Yeah, I do. I do 2, at least 2 of everything, even the squashes.
Yeah.
Even if I grow them in a tire and I put two in the one tire at least.
Yeah. Right.
And then,
well, and you never know if.
Last year, my ground cherries, I think they're going to come up, but just in case they don't, I did go ahead and order some from my gardener.
I've never had those before.
So these are just like backup.
Mm-hmm.
And then all these herbs I got from Garden State Gardener, oregano, probably on a pot on that one. And then somebody sent me these.
Nice.
And then gourds. I actually have pretty good luck with gourds.
Did yours dry out? Now I'm. Did your gourds ever dry out?
Gourds?
All of a sudden, I was like, "Oh, what's going on here?"
Are you talking about my bottleneck gourds?
Yeah.
They're still drying. Someone told me just to dry them whole, exactly the way they are. So I have 3, and they're on my planting table that I showed y'all last year. I have those. They're still drying.
Maybe take one of them and drill or cut a hole into one.
Yeah, peach, melba, nasturtiums.
Mm-hmm.
These are from in my garden.
Don't forget to save the seeds from those.
Oh yeah.
You'll know what they look like once the flower dies off. They'll look just like the seeds.
Yeah, definitely will. That way I won't have to order them again. I'll already have them. Mm-hmm. And then in my gardener sent me one extra. It's just a salad bowl.
Ooh, Malabar spinach. That sounds good. I like spinach too. Oh, you're gonna do spinach?
And then I have
me too.
Sugar pie pumpkin. So if I get any of these, I may actually be eating some pumpkin this year.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
Yeah, that's good.
Garlic chives. I thought about growing these in a pot, in a really big container. What do you think?
What are those?
Garlic chives.
Oh yeah, you could do those in a pot.
And then I have peppers. You know, I'll keep trying peppers, even though I'm not successful. I'll keep trying.
Yeah. They need to be started before your tomatoes. Start your bell peppers and your peppers before.
I think tomatoes, actually, I think I did tomatoes last. And then here's another kind of spinach. Well, a lot of this stuff came from Garden State Gardener. I don't know how you say this one. Gualadar. I don't know. It's a sunflower.
Gaillardia? Maybe?
Gaillardia. It's pretty.
Yeah, those are pretty.
And then zinnias. Of course, I have plenty of zinnias, but I never can have too many zinnias.
Yeah, I want to like
these are Mexican sunflowers.
Oh, I like those. Those are really
good. My sunflower garden. Last year I had pumpkins and then I had sunflowers. Well, the bugs that like sunflowers, I really don't want to plant the sunflowers with other stuff because the bugs that like them mess up other plants. So I'm going to plant the sunflowers in their own garden. And then corn that
do you put a mulch down in between where you plant your flower seeds and stuff to help contain the weeds? Because you know how sometimes it's hard to thin the weeds out when you have stuff starting to grow?
I use the pine. I can't use cedar because I'm allergic. Of course, I'm going to grow spearmint. I opened this. Yeah. I shouldn't have opened this, but spearmint. I'm gonna grow the spearmint in a tire. That way it'll keep it.
Yeah, do that For
And then
sure.
this is my glass gem corn that my sister bought me. It was in my Christmas stuff. And then, oh, these are the big sunflowers right here. This package, I opened it today. I was filling the container. It got full, so I had to just close this up. I was like, okay. Cherokee purple tomatoes. I don't know where I got this. Maybe Garden State Gardener. He sent me a whole bunch of seeds. Pink brandywine tomatoes. I think the one thing I might need is tomatoes. I'm not sure.
Right.
And then I had some random thing. Maybe you know what this is. It's in a tea bag looking thing. It's let's see, North Candy Rooster.
No.
Huh. It looks like it looks like kind of like a pumpkin, like a gourd. I'll have to look this up. But whoever sent this one, it's in a little bag that looks almost like a little tea bag.
Maybe it's tea.
But it is a seed, actually.
Candy, I just looked it up. Candy Rooster is a winter squash.
Ooh.
Baker Creek sells them.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
What is it? Exactly who they came from. They might have came from Garden State Gardener.
It's pumpkin-like, slightly nutty.
Oh, I do want to try some new. I think my whole tire section is going to be the extra squashes, and then my new wooden raised beds that hubby gave me that I started composting a while back, started kind of filling them before because they were going to take a lot of soil. I think I'm going to do my zucchini in those, and then I'm going to do my other squashes in the long bed. And then my other long skinny bed, I'm going to put, it's going to be all the things that come back. The lemon balm, the dill, the ground cherries, anything that will come back for you.
Yeah,
I'm going to put all those things, and sage. I'm going to put all 4 of those things in that one bed. Together.
That's what I have too. I have.
I don't have to do anything. Hopefully, the ground cherries, as much seed as I spread out on the ground, I should not even need the seed. It should come up all by itself.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the ground cherries. I thought they were good.
Yeah. So yeah, for sure.
Lock them in.
Yeah, I'm gonna do I don't know. So I over abundantly grow. One, to make sure I have enough of everything I want to grow so that I can preserve it for my family. But also, like I said, we're going to be getting that high tunnel, and I want to have enough plants to put in that, and then to sell some. And last year we were able to bless a large family. They couldn't afford to buy any plants for their garden, and so we were able to give them all kinds of different variety of tomatoes and stuff starts. So
I suggest on ground cherries to grow all of them. Like, grow the whole entire pack. Don't try to save any back. If you plant a whole entire, literally, I planted a whole pack of seeds last year and got maybe 3 plants. So seriously,
wow.
If you use ground cherries, plant all of them.
I heard once they really get going, though, they just go.
Yeah, I think I did 2 years. It took me 2 years to get ground cherries. It took me 2 years on dill. I did 3 years on loofah. Still didn't get any proper. I got some little tiny things, but nothing normal.
And a lot of your flower seeds you can make into jellies. So like your sunflower petals, you can make sunflower petal jelly. You can, there's like a lot of that. And I'm bachelor buttons.
My soap, like I'm going to try the lemon balm.
Well, yeah, and you want to do that. And I would say dry them naturally, like on a basket or, I use
multiple ways to do that. Another person told me something about, I'm going to have to ask that. I remember it actually was Bushcraft family. I'm going to see if he he was talking about some way of turning the lemon balm into soap. So I'm going to ask him, maybe he could share a video or something if somebody who's
Yeah, that'd be nice.
here. I was like, well, that's going to have to wait till summer because I won't have any more. I tried drying it, but then he told me, no, you need to do this. And I was like, and I don't know because I haven't done soap yet.
So I know for me, like the ants, we don't have fire ants. Yeah. So we just have the little sugar ants, but the sprinkling cinnamon works really well. I've heard cayenne pepper sprinkled around the base of a plant or tree or something like that.
The ants are so bad here that
you need a torch.
The planting starts, before the planting even starts, like even right now, okay, walk around my beds and make sure there's no ants in my beds. Literally go around with a stick and check. If I see them now when there's nothing planted in there, I can pour some boiling water on them and get them out before my gardening season starts.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Once the gardening season starts, you have to be more inventive.
Yeah, because you don't want to kill your plant.
Exactly. Yeah. But right now, if I'm on it and I'm paying attention, because one of my brand new beds, I went doing something in there and there it was. And I put my boiling water and, scalded them. And then I went back to check and it seemed like they were gone. And I've already ran them off from 2 different areas, but they'll just keep moving around. And you can't leave soil laying around in your yard in Texas because the ants will crawl up in that and make homes. And then when you go to use that soil, they will bite your hands. I literally had my whole hand covered with ant bites from last year.
I hate fire because I've been to Texas a few times and the fire ant bites. I would be having a torch.
No joke.
Yeah. Wow. So it's 41 degrees and what did he say? 61 degrees in Alaska. Alaska is warmer than Oregon. So right now our high is 45.
Oh, I left the L out of my email. All right. If anybody wants to email me, don't forget the L after the I. I didn't even realize that. Thank you, Scotty, for pointing that out. Forgot the L. That's funny. Well, thank you for your attention to detail.
So I kind of
teabag didn't come
kohlrabi is one that I really want to try to grow, and some different plants that are like purple.
Yeah, I'm going to do purple tomatillos and purple Cherokee tomatoes. I had a few more on my Amazon wish list, but my sister's the only one that actually got anything from it. She got the glass gem.
61 in Texas. Okay. I was going to say, what? Alaska's warmer than it is here in Oregon?
Yeah. Yeah, and this is where it gets crazy. I can't use food scraps in my compost because it just adds to the ant problem. Personally, me. I can use like tea bags or coffee grounds, but actual food I can't use because that's just one more thing to draw them into my garden. Unfortunately, I can't do that.
Even if you were to grind it up into smaller bits and mix it in. Yeah. I wonder, have you seen those in the kitchen? I don't know if they work or not. Like we have a chum bucket. So it's just like a clear bucket that has a lid, and we just put our food scraps in there and then go dump it when we need to dump it and bury it. But they have ones that like turn it in the house and compost it to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
Or one of those barrels. Have you seen those compost barrels? And it has like a handle, and you just crank it and you add your paper and all that.
I'm thinking of more like your compost in place where you just dig a hole and then put dirt on it. That just seems to attract them. So
yeah, so you need to
avoid it because but that's what keeps attacking my loofah is the fire ants.
Oh yeah.
So that's why and I don't know, maybe there's someone somewhere growing loofah successfully in Texas, but I could say 3 years, it's not me. And I don't think I'm going to grow loofah. I don't think I'm going to try loofah again. I still have seeds in case I change my mind, but at this point, I don't know. Hello, Drops Family Garden. Welcome in.
Yeah, and then I have some growing options that may be less expensive if people are limited on space or money for containers. And so last spring, and you'll want to go like to the Dollar Tree store or somewhere that's that price or less, if if you're on a budget, or if you just want to save money, you can get like these little square things, and if you can hang it on fences for like smaller, like vertical growing, if you drill a couple holes in it and put some washers, that's an option for planting like on railings or whatnot, Also, I have some green stalks, but I also picked up these. So what they are is you can stack them like this. And they've got I can't do this very well. They've got 3 separate. Come on. There we go. I did it. So they just kind of tear up. So like if you're limited on the
strawberries in those or herbs.
Yeah. I mean, it won't last as long as a green stalk, but it's pretty thick. So, if you're looking for some, other containers and stuff like that, I got these at the Dollar Tree store last spring. Cool. Make sure you put holes.
Yeah, I've grown in those before. I actually ended up stacking mine, but I have grown in them before. But I don't think I ended up stacking them at all. I think that was when I had my.
Oh yeah, you'd probably have to water every morning and night and have it in partial shade in Texas. That's what I would probably do.
Yeah, and by after the hot July, by August, things are already dying.
Yeah, you have like
we have an early season, and then we're kind of done. Everybody else is still going. We're done. So you'll see. I'll be pulling, and I start composting mine early. I mean, if I see it's just not, or sometimes I get enough squash, and I'm like, okay, we're done.
Oh. So Drops Family Garden says they put DE in the soil for the fire ants.
Yeah, I've used that too. I've used
right. Another thing
for cinnamon, cow manure, all kinds of traps, boiling water. I have tried everything that is possible to put in your garden that isn't a poison. Pretty much, I've tried everything.
Oh yeah, don't stack those more than 4 high if you're getting them.
I'm gonna drop your link. Type the word dolphin, and they'll drop your link in the chat.
I think another good topic to talk about, especially for those of you that are in the hotter climates. I mean, we get pretty hot at the end of July as well, and so things that you can use for shading.
Yeah, I have shade cloth, but I just need to figure out how to get hubby to install it. Hello, Chris.
Shade cloth. Sheets from thrift stores can work as well if you hang them at the angle of the, afternoon hotter part of the sun, so it hits that and kind of blocks shades. They have like some triangular kind of like parasail kind of like things that you can hang. It's like a triangle thing that you can hang for shading, tarps, old blankets, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And just kind of like, or put it in an area where like a building or something might get shade at that afternoon heat. That's the hottest part of the day is once you get to the afternoon.
I was going to see what other seeds I had over here. I stole some seeds off of a lantana bush. I got these myself. My friend has a clothes closet, and I borrowed those from her. I also got purple tomatillo seeds. That was the other purple thing I had.
That would be neat. I've never had the purple ones. A lot of times I'll add the green ones in with when I'm making salsa.
Golden bantam corn. Anyway, I'm going to plant just a couple of each kind of the corn. Somebody sent me snap peas, which I heard is really good for repairing your soil.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I've got a lot of stuff. I do a lot of herbs for sure.
Spinach.
I do a lot of seed saving of whatever I can seed save. That's important to.
Yeah, I saved these cayenne pepper seeds from last year from my harvest. These are my own saved seeds.
I have like a huge thing of calendula,
yellow corn.
Yeah, I have all kinds of stuff. I did loofah last year. I should have planted. I was like 4 weeks late. I was 4 weeks late of planting them, and I planted them in pots along the fence, but I don't have fire ants. So,
yeah, that's what mine was. It was on. I have a climbing wall that hubby has built me, and so I planted loofah, then cucumber, then vining flowers is what I had. Hello, Mona. I'm near Blue Ridge. I'm putting my seeds back in there. I pulled out some seeds to show y'all. Yeah, and I need another one of these. I need another one of these containers. So as I'm planting stuff, the little bits of each package I can add into here.
I need to get some of those.
I can just carry this around the garden or put it on my gardening table. Or even just put it in the utility room, kind of go back and forth with seeds. So because you hate to leave it outside, because what if you leave it out there and then it rains? But then again, these are pretty well protected because these little containers, they're like little. Let me show you.
Where did you get yours at? Oh, those are small.
My stepdaughter ordered it for me. I think it was Mother's Day last year from Amazon. It was on my Amazon wish list. So the little, it's like a little Tic Tac container. You pull it, you see, you can at the top. Wait, see, it's like you can pour the seeds out.
Oh, that's neat.
But also it comes out like this to where you can load it and stuff like that. You can mark it. I just marked it with my own stuff, and then I've kind of categorized them, and I have V is vining plants, which is the stuff I usually plant out in the wild garden.
Right.
Anything that vines, cantaloupe, pumpkin, watermelon, all that stuff gets planted out toward the wild garden.
Yeah. Because
it can just go wild out there and do whatever. Just like that.
I do that
pumpkin. Too. I'm gonna try to do mounds for my pumpkin for the giant pumpkins this year. I'm gonna try to do mounds.
Mounds work really well. I'm
successful with that, so I'm gonna keep trying, and I'll grow a big pumpkin at some point, and maybe then the challenge will be over and I'll be done with it. But right now, it's still a challenge. I want to be able to grow a big one. We'll see.
Yeah, and so soaking your seeds too beforehand helps for a lot of those bigger seeds, soaking them so that they get nice contact with the soil when you plant them, and then they can start with their germination. So, so I'm going to do like a lot of flowers, a lot of herbs, of course, all the vegetables. Gail, did you say that you have a water bath canner?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you're planting tomatoes this year?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'll be curious to see if you get into making some tomato sauce.
Yeah, we'll see how well the tomatoes
I
do
can
this
talk
year.
you through it if you're scared.
we'll see how well the tomatoes do this year. Hopefully they'll do well.
Yeah.
Last year, the most successful thing was the zucchini. Pretty much all the squashes were successful. The dill was successful. What else? Tomatillas were not successful last year, but they have been in the past. But this year I'm going to have a whole bed of the tomatillas, so hopefully they'll do well. I think they do better.
What?
When they have
20 feet deep.
What now?
The fire ants can go 20 feet deep.
Oh my goodness!
You need a torch.
Whoa. That is very awful.
Maybe everybody should eradicate them.
Our problem in Texas is real, man. Our fire ant problem is real. One thing I noticed that kind of did run off the ants a little bit, okay? So I had a bag of cow manure I bought from the local gardening store that we have in our little town. So the soil, some of the topsoil I bought from Walmart, they climbed in one of the bags, and I opened up the bag and they bit me all over my hand. But I noticed on the manure bag, they did not climb inside that bag. So what I did was I took that bag of manure and I sprinkled it around all the plants. And I noticed that they laid off of some of those areas. So maybe the cow manure is actually a deterrent for the ants.
Yeah, it's worth trying and seeing if it actually does.
You might keep that in mind for your for you guys in Texas. You might try adding some of that manure from the store, because it's already been cured. I don't know if cured's the right word, but it's like the stuff Heather's getting out of her yard, she's got to let it sit for a year, but the stuff at the store is already set for its year. So you can use it right away. And so maybe sprinkling, you might try that Broke Cowgirl Homestead. You might try some of that manure around your plants to see if it might run off. Because I've tried lots of stuff. And I did notice they didn't like that when I used it.
And then you can also make tea out of that manure. Do you know how to do that?
Add water.
Yeah, you just add water and you let it sit for a few days to kind of ferment, do its thing, and then you can water your stuff in. Now remember, your corn's going to need a lot of what's it called? Urine, not just urine, but what's urine? Oh my gosh, I lost it.
What to put on corn? Ginger wanted to remind people to use their coffee grounds too. Yep. And I think I did forget to mention that on mine, but I do use coffee grounds. I save them in a bowl, and then I just take them out and just apply them at different areas of the yard. And I actually go ahead and throw the coffee filter in there too, because it's paper.
It'll compost.
It'll compost and break down. So I just add the whole. I just bring the bowl full of those outside, or sometimes I'll do it daily. But I need to get out there and start working again on some of the days when it's nice in Texas and not really, really super cold. I need to get out there and start kind of assessing it, because it's going to seem like such a daunting task at the beginning. You're going to go, whoa, what a hot mess I left this in. I mean, and I did compost some areas, but there's some areas that I kind of just left them how they are. And
yeah, I know. We're supposed to supposedly get some snow. Excuse me. This week, I think. But I'm going to try to get I've got like some of my lavender and some of my fruit trees and stuff like that I need to trim right now. So I got to get out there and do that during the next month too. So get some of the stuff cleaned up, weeded, prepped as much as I can, before the craziness.
Some of my sunflower stalks left out there that I asked hubby if he would go out there and just cut them down to ground level for me, because I'm going to actually replant the sunflowers right there. But I want to, it looks messy. I mean, I was out there doing them one at a time because they're so thick and big. Because I had those mammoth ones. They literally went over the top of our fence where the neighbor was like,
Absolutely.
where did you get those huge sunflowers? And I'm like,
Yeah.
somebody sent those to me. Actually, I think it was Grace and Fire. Glenda at Grace and Fire entered the seed swap that Indiana Backyard Gardener did, and she sent in those mammoth sunflower seeds, and I planted those, and those are the ones that went over. And I did save some of those seeds, and I actually have a whole entire sunflower from that I saved in the China hutch, and I can just literally pull seeds out of that and stick it in the ground.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
I'll have plenty of those. I'll probably plant them in a couple of different areas, but I do warn people, don't get your sunflowers too close to your vegetable plants, because there are certain bugs that like those, in Texas at least, that are not good for your plants. So I don't know what they are, but I literally had to fight the worms on it last year.
Yeah.
They love those sunflowers.
Mm-hmm.
Okra plants that were 10 feet tall. That's about like the sunflowers. Those were about 10 feet tall, or maybe 12 feet tall, something like that.
So do you ever make bone meal?
I don't, but I want to.
It's easy.
Luann do that the other day. Make some bone meal.
Oh, did she? I didn't watch that. I missed that one. So you just take your bones and save them up, and then you just bake them in the oven at a low temperature until they turn white, and they're easy to like crunch and crush, and you just crush it up into a powder.
What?
That's it.
And then you put it into a liquid or a jar, or what?
Put it in a jar. Put it in a jar and then use it on whatever plants you need to use it for.
Oh, for your plants.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah, so all your like bones from your chicken or turkey or whatever.
I did not know that. You could
stick them into like a Ziploc bag in the freezer until you like pick all the meat off if you can, and then once you have like a cookie sheet full, then just stick them in there on the lowest setting. And wait until
I'm gonna make my own bone meal for the ground.
Yeah, you can use the dehydrator 2 drops. Put that in there, but yeah, you can use the dehydrator 2 if you have one.
That's an awesome idea. I'm totally doing that. That's
totally
cool. I don't know why it didn't hit me. I bought it from the store. Really, I didn't even know about it until I started gardening and doing the Shed Wars gardening competition. Right. I didn't even really know about bone meal until then. And then I started buying it, but I had no idea you could just make it your own out of bone. So it's just crushed up bones. What? I'm going to do that.
Be careful of using like different types of grinders or whatnot if you're going to like put it in the grinder, that you don't break your grinder. Like,
but you can crush it up yourself after it's dried long enough?
Yeah. I mean, the thicker ones, you might, you'll know, like some of them that you can't like snap easily like that, then you'll want to maybe cook them a little bit longer. But the thinner ones are just easy. You can put them in a little coffee grinder, the smaller ones.
There you go. You taught me something new today, Heather.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then also like banana peels. Do you use banana peel?
Banana peels. Mm-hmm. I do that.
Yeah.
I go through phases where I'll buy bananas and do that. And I've even done the banana water, Yeah. Like you put in the fridge and everything. I actually cut mine up into little 1-inch pieces and leave it in the fridge for about 3 days and then pour it on my plants. I think you're supposed to do it when the plant's up past its first or second set of leaves. I think is when you're supposed to start pouring it on. But I do that in the sun. I do that some in the summer, and then sometimes in the winter, if I buy bananas, I'll just take it out there and go ahead and throw it in an area on the garden. And I don't have any trouble with the ants on the banana peels. But
sometimes I cut them up into little 1-inch pieces and throw them in a little freezer Ziploc bag.
Yeah,
so I have them for later.
It's a good idea.
Because you can use it for your house plants too, the banana tea.
Yeah, I'm not as good with house plants as I am outside plants because I like the outside plants because you know if you get busy and you can't water your plants, which I'm all about the water and the plants.
Yeah.
Toward the end of the year, I'll admit I get tired. Welcome in, laugh with me.
It's definitely something to get used to. I have like
Yeah,
a jungle of plants.
the backup plan of God watering your plants too. I think that's really cool.
Well, I water once a week, the same day, so that way I remember.
Yeah, that's
But
good.
I have like aloe vera, and actually I need to up pot my aloe.
Yeah, I would like to grow aloe. That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Mhm.
So many things on the list of things to oh, and I was
Learn and
going to
do.
talk about the Vineyard Chicks Homestead as like a feature channel today. So I've known the Vineyard Chicks for about 3 years. KK, Trey, and Bunky. And they do homesteading. They have a vineyard. They do music. They do a little bit of everything. Trey does some DIY projects and stuff. Really cool channel. They actually did a really cool fundraiser for the Broken Hearts Ministry recently and raised some money for that. So that was really cool of them.
That was really nice.
And I was the first channel to bring the Vineyard Chicks Homestead, the girls up to have an interview. I was the first one to do that, and the first one to give them a shout out. And then right after me, Simply Jan Homestead had them on, and then I think they've been all over the place now. But I was actually surprised. I was like very surprised that nobody had already shouted them out. I mean, they're really
Well, they're
talented.
Yeah,
really
they're such a nice family. Mom and dad are so nice as well. I haven't met them in person, but whenever I interact with them on their channels or on wherever, they're just always so kind.
Whenever I process stuff, she runs and shuts the door. Okay. Hello, John, with Jay Hunting and Stuff with J&J. Welcome in. So I linked the Vineyard Chicks Homestead at the top of the chat. If you're not friends with their channel, if you'll go by and check them out and tell them that Gail sent you over, that'd be really awesome. They've been really good friends and really good loyal subscribers. And on Monday nights, I think it is 9 p.m. Central Time, they do a live where they sing about a 10 set music, and then after that they take requests, and they actually have a list where you can pick songs from and just throw the titles of those in the chat, and they'll sing some of those songs. So really, really cool ladies. And their parents actually invited me to come down there, or up there. And so
Where are they at?
Got it in Michigan.
Okay. You should go someday. That would be fun.
Yeah, that would be really fun. And I think if I do, we should talk about it ahead of time and maybe like do some kind of a singing.
Oh, that would be fun.
Like
duet or something.
Yeah, like a duet or a quadret or whatever. I don't know the names.
Yeah.
After duet, I'm lost on that. Okay, but yeah. Hello, Maritza's Yarning Crafts, and she's tapped the word dolphin to put her link in the chat. So yeah, I had help putting the Nightbot thing up. So that hello, Susan, Hillbilly Chicken Ranch, welcome in.
Yeah.
Let me see.
So,
what are your favorite flowers to grow, Heather? You could tell me what you were going to tell me first before you answer if you want to.
Calendula. I love growing calendula. Actually, so many flowers. Lavender. I love growing a lot of flowers. I try to grow things, though, that grow back, that keep growing continuously, that I don't have to replant.
Yeah.
Just because it's a lot of work to keep up with all the areas that I need to keep up with. And I don't want to spend my time. I mean, like the vegetable garden stuff like that, but like, flowers and
Yeah,
so,
I kind of have my flowers kind of blended in around, we literally have our yard. It's a good sized yard to be that it's in a city. But we have it literally a fence in the middle of it. One side of the yard has the chicken coop on it. And when we let them free range, they free range over there. And there's a fence in between we can shut so that they can free range that area and not mess with the garden. And then the other side of the yard is my garden area, and that's where I have my raised beds and my raised planters and all my containers and all just my array of chaos there that I have in my yard.
Right.
Different planters. I actually want to get a hold of some more paint and paint a few more things because it'll preserve the wood on those planters and things like that.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
And it makes it a little prettier to look at when I'm making my videos. I like to grow on flowers. I like to grow your basic zinnias and marigolds. I like sunflowers, but like I say, I want to try to seclude them to myself this year. Nasturtiums, I tried actually the very first time last year. And so I did purchase some, and I'm going to grow them again this year. And someone had sent me carnal climbers last year, and I grew them next to my cucumbers. And I'm going to I did purchase some more, and I'm going to go ahead and grow those again. So those flowers I like, but I have a bunch of any flowers anybody sends me. I literally will plant them everywhere. I'll have pots and stuff. I feel like it just makes everything pretty outside, and it also pollinates all the different vegetables and things that you have in your garden. So,
and also like trying to figure out like what months the flowers bloom. So like early spring, late spring, early summer, late summer, and then you want to go into late fall, right? Mm-hmm. Because then that way you're having flowers growing at all times for the beauty and for the pollinators.
You could set a timer on your phone where literally every 2 weeks you plant more flowers. I did that one year with a sunflower garden. I would plant them once a week or once every 2 weeks.
Succession planting.
You could do that with you could succession plant your flowers so that you would keep your pollination and your beauty all year.
Yeah. And like one of the first things we usually have is sunflowers. And so dandelions. Sorry, I was thinking yellow. So dandelions, and I make a lot of low sugar dandelion jelly, and I dry them out for all kinds of stuff. But yeah, okay, yeah, like petunias are really pretty. I like petunias.
I grow marigolds around a lot of my squash because in my case, I feel like it wards off a lot of those squash bugs and different stuff. So I try
calendula as well is an herb. Also wards off bugs.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, there's quite a few plants that do that. There was something I was going to grow with my tomatoes this year other than basil, and I was trying to remember what it was that also helps with the bugs. And I was trying to remember. Maybe I'll remember again before it's planting time. Has anyone in the chat actually started making up their gardening plan or like their gardening chart where they're gonna put stuff and what kind of things? Has anybody done that? If you have, type a 1 in the chat. If you have not, type a 2 in the chat. I did, right after I was writing some things we were going to talk about today, I did write down a few places of where I wanted some things to go and some things I'm moving around this year.
I'm a little bit behind on planning out where and how much that I'm going to be planting because I was unsure of getting the high tunnel, so I didn't want to do too much of an abundance. So it's kind of
that makes sense.
A huge adjustment trying to figure out how much I need for my own preserving, how much extra I want to do to help people out. For all the spaces, what can I do? with the spaces, and it's a lot of details to go over.
Yeah,
So
I just did a kind of a soft plan. I don't know why I didn't turn the light on this room. It literally is getting dark while I'm on the live. There is light in this room. I just did not turn it on. I just started writing it down today, and I'm going to try to remember to put that on the refrigerator. But I want to actually draw the map and actually walk out
yeah.
as it starts to get nicer, like early March. I'll probably firm it down more, because sometime in March I will be starting to plant. And
I'll use like graph paper a lot of times. I actually have like my orchard on graph paper, and I have all my fruit trees, like little dots, and the names of all the trees, all my berries. So it's a map. So if anybody asks me what's this or what's that, I'm like, if I don't remember, I can go look at the map.
Well, people started talking about it probably 2-3 weeks ago, and I wasn't quite ready yet, but I thought, you know what? It's time. It's time to start talking about it, planning.
I know.
Things. Of course, Heather just taught me something new today about the making your own bone meal thing. So I'm going to I learned something new today. So if nothing else was accomplished, I learned something new that I can make for myself, that I don't have to worry about buying at the store. So that's going to be in my plan to do. And yeah, I'm going to work more on my planning, and I need to walk out and just do because I always add things to the garden. I mean, every year hubby gets these cool containers from his job, and I use those for planting. So we keep adding more space and more space. So
yeah, that's good. That's good though. You're growing.
I'm the one woman gardener over here.
Yeah, I pretty much am too, because my husband's working full time, so I have to try and do as much as I can, and then he helps out on the weekends with, what needs to be done.
Yeah, I was worried I would get those vine borers last year, but I didn't get any. But I do use this. I'm one thing I don't really like transferring plants from under the grow light into the garden. I don't really like doing it. I'll be honest, I don't like doing it. However, last year I did start some marigolds under the grow light. That way, when I planted out my squash, my marigolds would already be up, because I wanted that protection of the smell of it out there before the different squash was coming up. So I actually did that last year, and I love that. It was very successful. They were gorgeous, giant, big marigold plants. And I actually have even a few varieties people have sent me this year. So I'll have a little bit even more color on that, not just, it'll be orange and yellow and combinations of rust in different colors. So I have a few more varieties. But yeah, I love growing the marigolds up under my grow light to have them ready and out there to protect the plants.
Yeah, that's good.
I don't have to grow a lot under the grow light if I don't want to. I can just throw it out and it's warm.
Okay. Yeah, last year I started my corn seeds just right out on the front porch in containers, because I like to start my things in containers and not direct sow most of my stuff, because then that way I know it's growing.
Yeah.
Sometimes you put the seeds and you do all the things you're supposed to do, and then there's nothing. So I'd rather seed in the tray.
It could be just the seed. It could be just the soil. It could be just lack of nutrient. It could be so many things. Has anybody heard of any seed swaps for 2024? Last year, Indiana Backyard Gardener did one, but I don't think she's really been putting out any content on her channel. But you never know. She could pop out of nowhere and just boom, be going. But I'm gonna look real quick. But last I looked, she has not put out any content in 4 months on her channel.
It's kind
Just
of a
did
little bit
it.
late now to do, I think, maybe not, a bigger seed swap because it takes so long to get to everybody.
Does anybody know
So
of any that are already going? I know Wide Family Farm might have done one last year. I didn't participate in it. Um, but I might this year because I know Indiana Backyard Gardener's not doing hers, so maybe possibly. If anybody knows of any, let me know. Either email me or put it in the chat.
yes.
And I was
Yep.
going to talk about if anybody knows about any gardening collabs that are coming out this year. And the only thing I did hear about that was coming out for sure is Garden State Gardener Joe and Courtney are doing that other channel, Grow Big TV. And on that channel, they're going to do gardening competitions. There's going to be at least
Oh, yeah.
5.
Mhm.
So as I get more information, I'll be sharing that. I'll also be sharing that on the upcoming collabs because to me that kind of fits into that kind of thing. So I'll be
Yeah.
sharing more information on that. I'll be sharing the video when they put it out on my community tab and also be sharing that on the upcoming collabs to let people know. And also we'll probably be joining it depending on what the vegetables are, if it's something I think I can grow successfully.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's all learning and it's asking questions to lots of different people on whatever it is that you want to grow so you can learn and make it happen. And I think that this year should definitely be a year to help everybody and make it happen. If you definitely know some knowledge on some different types of things to be able to share. So,
I think that maybe Heather's talking about maybe doing some gardening conversations, possibly as lives on her channels. So hopefully she'll let us know some more information on that. That would be really interesting.
I'm working on it.
I know. I thought I'd just put that out there in the world. So if
Yeah.
anybody is in the chat today who would like to come on and talk about gardening, talk about their skills, ask questions, you don't have to be a perfect gardener. You can even be a learning gardener. You could be level 1 and still come on here and you could be
Yeah.
asking people in the chat questions that you want to know. So you don't have to be an expert gardener. If you're just interested in talking about gardening, we're talking about the things you want to learn, maybe people in the chat could even send you to these channels they think can help you with that specific thing. So if you're interested in that, if you'll send me an email to galessouthernliving@yahoo.com, just like this here, except for after the I add an L for Gales.
Showing you how to spell your name.
Yeah, I forgot how to spell my own name. I mean, stuff happens.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm thinking about maybe putting out videos, maybe once a week, on talking about some of my new healthy eating habits. And I thought about one of the first videos I might do would be to vlog what I'm eating, but instead of doing it every day, do a whole week in one video where you can see today I ate pizza and salad. This specific
Like combine
pizza.
it.
And then the next day, okay, well, you know what I'm eating. I'm eating the chicken, right? Because we talked about the meal prep. I'm eating the chicken wrap. And today I'm going to have on it some grilled onions and peppers. And tomorrow I'm going to have on it some baby spinach and guacamole and, just different things on different days, depending on what I seasoned it with. But I'm thinking about doing that. What do you think about putting a whole week's worth of food vlogging into one video for
I
them to
think,
watch, just to
yeah,
help who might actually be trying to
yeah,
start?
I think it'll help for you to be holding yourself accountable, number one, right? And then you should be proud of yourself that you had all that weeks long meals done. And then also there's other people that may get ideas on different, things that they can do if they're looking to do that.
Yeah, like me and my younger sister are doing, sharing our ideas together. And it was actually her idea about the chicken. She actually does chicken drumsticks. I told her, well, I'm going to do the dark meat chicken, but I'm going to do the chicken thighs. So I took her, and then she's actually smoking hers because she has some kind of smoker thing. Whereas I actually took the bone out, cut it in bite-sized pieces, and marinated in different marinades. And she liked that idea and decided to marinate hers in some different things. So I figured that would give it a little variety.
Yeah,
The taste of the chicken
good
would have
idea.
a little different
Yeah,
thing.
Broke Cowgirl said that she doesn't think that there's such thing as an expert gardener. No, we're all learning.
There's some people I think are better than me. I'm
Oh,
definitely
yeah,
learning something every day. I
totally.
know some things, but I don't know all things. And I can grow some things pretty
There's
successfully,
so
but
many
definitely
things.
not all things. But yeah, I learned something today, and hopefully I had some knowledge I could put out to you guys. Maybe you learned something from me today as well. I thought I was a really good gardener until I went on YouTube, and I was like, man, there's people that know so much more than me. But I'm learning. I've been learning over the past 3 years, watching all the YouTube gardeners. I've learned so much. I've learned something from pretty much everybody I've come in contact with about composting and things like that.
Yeah, yeah, and you just take a little bits and pieces from everyone and see what works best for you, your circumstance, your area, and make it work.
If you ain't learning, you're losing. That's right. Very well said there, Drops. I have enjoyed having you on today. Is there anything else you want to say before we close it up for today?
Goodness, plant things, plant some extra flowers if you're not going to be doing a garden. For the pollinators, we need to keep those pollinators going so we can keep our gardens going, to keep us going.
Yes. Yes. I love having those pollinators in the yard. I love seeing them just buzzing around. I probably make a video of the bees pollinating the flowers. I probably make a few of those every
Oh
gardening season.
my
And
gosh, I make
butterflies.
them every day.
I'm always making what?
I do it every day.
Yeah, I mean, I make so many videos. Just I love going out there and just watching the birds and the butterflies and the bees and the worms and all the stuff going on out there. I love. One year, I'm laughing just talking about it. I made a video of this huge long worm, and I'm like, what is this worm? And they said it was just a regular worm, but I mean, it was so long, it was like a snake. And in the video,
Yeah.
you could see it. So I was like, oh, I mean, I want the worms to be there. I do.
Yeah, but that was something.
But I don't necessarily want to play with them or anything. But
Yeah,
video,
that's
yeah.
funny.
Sometimes things in the garden, even though I love working in the
I
garden,
broke Cowgirl.
the garden is my happy place, and I cannot wait to get back in the garden. But I mean, I'm just now. Other people had to start talking about it for a couple of weeks before I
Yeah,
actually got the bug this year. I wasn't ready right away, but finally, I was like,
yeah.
"Yeah, I'm ready to start thinking about it," which is
I
making
feel
me
like
feel
I
like
just
I need to go out in the yard and work on a few more things. Maybe add some more shredded paper to some areas and stuff like that. So,
yeah. Yep. As am I.
yeah, and I definitely need to do more fertilizing type stuff this year because I get so busy in the garden. I don't think to stop and fertilize things. I mean, I might go put some banana water or stuff like
Yeah.
that. I don't think
Well, my thing is I'm gonna focus on testing more. Testing my soil, so I can because I think that if I keep doing that and it starts showing me like the different results, and my head will start spinning, and I'll be able to say that needs that and that needs this. You know what I
yeah,
mean? I'll
at
have
some
more.
point you might be able to tell just by the color.
Yeah, yeah. So, it's all work in
You
progress.
can tell when your soil is rich and when it looks good and healthy. I mean,
Yeah.
after a while as a gardener, you start to be able to tell. You're like, yeah, that's some healthy soil right there, and
Mhm.
you can tell. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
ready to start going, and I need to sit down and kind of write down what I still need in the seed department. One thing I did notice from going through my seeds today is I need to add some more parsley to my stuff because I don't think I have enough. I want to have enough to fill up a whole entire container. And with that whole big full container, I want to have enough to dehydrate and put up for the whole year to not have to buy any parsley at all. So that's one of my goals. It's just a little goal, but I know I need more parsley to achieve that goal. So, and Dollar Tree did start putting out their seeds. So if you are a Dollar Tree seed buyer, you might consider going by there. And I'm pretty sure Walmart's probably not too far behind on that too. So
yeah, and you can also check out like your library, your local libraries. They often have a lot of seeds.
Libraries with seeds? Really?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a big city thing? Because I've never heard of that before.
No, I told you my city has a gas station.
Oh, okay. My city.
I don't have a library.
I need to go to my library, I guess, and just look around and see what they have. I'd really like to check out maybe some books, like some of those books that I wanted to buy on my Amazon wish list. Some of those books might be at the library that I can just check them out and read them. So
yeah, check out maybe what I want to get Seed to Seed, that book on seed saving, in case there's some different types of seeds or different ways of saving seeds that I would like to learn about. So that's something that a book that I want to get. Yeah, I like getting books that I can use as resources.
Yeah, resources, exactly. And sometimes the library will actually sell some of their books too. Sometimes they'll have an area where you can actually buy books, and even though other people don't want those books, that doesn't mean you don't want those books. So you might go look, even if not for you, there might be something your daughter wants or.
Mm-hmm. Well, and you can also post on your local community pages if you have Facebook or something like that, and ask, does anybody have any extra whatever seeds you might be looking for, or books. And sometimes there's people that'll be like, oh, hey, I have, just come meet me at,
Yeah, people
somewhere.
willing to give stuff away. Definitely. Mm-hmm. Those people definitely exist. So if anyone is out in the chat that wants to come and do a live about gardening, just talk about what they know or what they want to learn, if you'll send me an email to gailsouthernliving@yahoo.com, I will set up that live with you. I am in the middle of transitioning from going from Sunday to a different day for the live. And there actually is a poll on my community tab where I'm going to change from Sunday to possibly a Monday through Friday kind of thing. Well, I'm going to go one of those days, and I'm having people vote on which day. So if you'll go by my community tab and post a vote for that, I'm going to actually pick whichever one is number one. I'm going to let that list be up for a week or two, and that's going to be my exact live day. And that's going to be and I'll do some kind of announcement video on it so you guys will know. And I do have a guest coming up. It's going to be my brother-in-law, and he's going to talk about some cool things that he makes, and he has a place where he sells stuff. So I'm going to get that live set up. So that may be one of my first, lives on my new live night, possibly. But yeah, if you want to come up and talk about gardening, just send me an email. All right, I'm ready to say goodbye to everybody. Thank you for coming up with me, Heather, and let me know when you're ready.
Out.
And I will come up and talk with you. For sure.
Right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, and post questions on this video if you have more questions, if anybody's watching the replay, and let's just help each other learn and grow.
Yes, definitely.
Thank you, Gail.
Bye, Heather. Bye, guys. Thank you guys for coming up. I appreciate all of you coming in.
Have a good weekend or Sunday.
Have a good week.
Yeah, good week. See ya.
Thank you guys all for coming in. I appreciate all of you. Bye, guys. Bye, everybody. Happy Sunday. I believe Grow Big TV is going to do a live in about 15 minutes. If you want to go by there and try to win some seeds and hang out with some fellow gardeners. Have a great day, guys. Bye.